Hey guys, welcome back to RHR. Jen, I'm so glad you're here. Guys, I have such a good show for you today. This is the second part of my sit down with Chef Matt. So many of you guys love when I have him on. He's so kind and so knowledgeable, and we really break down with Love Meghan. The good, the bad, the ugly, the flower sprinkles, everything in between. So I'm excited for you to watch this. And again, a huge thank you to Chef Matt for your time and your very thoughtful answers to all of our questions. If you have questions for Chef Matt, be sure to leave them in the comments and we'll be sure to get those over to him. But let's dive right back in to my sit down with Chef Matt. Here we go.
It's difficult because from a chef's point of view, I'm always very conscious about talking about other chefs and other people's ability, because I don't want there ever to be some negativity from what I say. But they're just little observations of, if you're a fish eater and you love seafood and you love eating shellfish, if you're that kind of person, you'll probably feel the same way as I do, because there's something so beautiful about eating clams and mussels straight out of the shell, and again, you go back to that nostalgic part of your senses, and that's the way we grew up eating them, and there's nothing wrong with eating them that way, but they'll all, if you cook them fast, if you cook them super fast and you treat them simple, that's the best way to enjoy them.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Do you have a favorite dish to cook? I may have asked you that last time. I just can't remember, and I figured people will probably want to know that. I didn't think about asking you that.
I don't. I've done it for so long. I don't particularly have a favorite. What I've got favorite times of the year, and I've got favorite things that I like to cook at the certain times of the year, because it's like you're showcasing the best of the best, aren't you? There's in England, we've got very short periods of time for product. And it's getting those products at the very ripest and at the very freshest, and saying, what can I do that's absolutely brilliant, that I'm going to enjoy doing, because I know I know I've got a very short window of time. It's going to bring me joy, it's going to bring me happiness, but it's going to make my guests happy, and everybody who's going to eat it is going to respect the work that's gone into it.
That's good.
I find other people's reaction to my food to be more pleasing to my reaction to food.
Oh, really? Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Huh. Wow. That's especially when they spit it out and run away. I'm just kidding. And then we talked about before, you have a son. Do you involve your son in your, I know he's young, but do you involve your son in your cooking as well? Does he help you in the kitchen?
I try to involve him, and he's very good at being very hands-on. He wants to be involved in everything that you do, and he enjoys getting messy, and he enjoys the fun of it, and I try to make it an exciting experience for him. He's getting to that age now where he's getting a little bit wiser, and he's getting a little bit more sure of himself. So I'm hoping that over the next few years, I want to develop his flavor palette. I want to develop his knife skills. I want to put him in a good place. That's so nice. That I think children are, they'll grow up to be the way that we molded them, and I think that if you allow your children to be picky eaters, they're going to be picky eaters for the rest of their life. I think even if you've got something that you don't like, you should always encourage your children to enjoy it. And if as a parent you don't like fish, you should still feed them fish. You should, I think that there's something magical about cooking a whole fish and showing them how to debone it, or how to take the meat off the fish, or not to be scared of certain textures, or to be scared of certain techniques, and I think it's important, and it's important for me to be able to pass that knowledge on.
That's cool. Oh, that's sweet. And I feel like, again, tying it back to the show, that's a big misstep on Meghan's part. If she actually wanted to, I mean, she should have thought of ways to involve, even if she doesn't want to show her kids, whatever, kids in cooking or baking or something like that. And I I think she doesn't want anything to just distract from herself, but I'm just saying that seems like a misstep to do. Like,
Meghan would probably make quite a good children's entertainer. Yeah, like when you look at the arts and crafts that
well, she
she's
married
doing.
Harry. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, exactly. But you know, you're in this
Yeah.
you're in this situation, aren't you? Where a lot of the stuff that she's done in the past that we've seen, you know, they're all. I wouldn't go as far as to say childish, but they're all
Yeah.
things that you would do with your children. You know, like making biscuits,
Sure.
making the raspberry fun cookies. You know,
Right.
they're all really fun things to do with your children. But then look at the arts and crafts side of the things that she does. Like when was it acrylic, and she made like little pendants.
She
You know,
did.
that would be great to teach the kids, and
Yeah.
that would be some, you know, that you could almost go for a walk on a beautiful summer's day,
That's
and
right.
you could pick flowers and daisies with your children. Then
That's
you could take them back, and they could set that memory.
Mhm.
And you know, you might never want them to wear it, but they could put it in a box,
They can have
and
it.
you know,
Yeah.
in 20 years time they've still got it. And I think that's beautiful, isn't it? You know, that's a very idealistic way of living.
Yes, I think so too. Yeah, I thought the same. My my art is paint. I like to paint. So I when she was painting those aprons, I was like, why wouldn't you have your children do that? You know, like I just can't imagine, you know, why not just have your children involved so they could paint their own aprons, so it gives them that love and respect of painting and cooking potentially.
Exactly. But that's the thing, that they're very childish
Yeah,
orientations, aren't they? And I
they
think
are.
that one of the things that we saw was when she was, I don't know what it was called, but it was like she'd got water, and then she put dyes and colors in the water, and then
Yes. Uh-huh.
she put silk. There was like a scarf or something,
Scarf.
wasn't it?
Yes. Uh-huh.
And you look and you go, that that would be amazing to do with kids. That would be, you
Exactly.
know, you'd roll the sleeves up, they'd get wet, they'd splash about, you know,
That's
they'd
right.
make a mess, but you
Mhm.
know, the end product would be something that you could remember and you could keep.
That's exactly
And
it.
I think that, but well, I did watch that, and I did think that's such a chore. You know, you look and you say, you've got this big square container,
Mhm.
and it's probably got about 4 or 5 liters of water in it, and then you put in these tiny little specks and you're swirling them around.
Yes.
Then you put one piece of cloth in it, and then you have to pick that container up, you have to carry
Mhm.
that container somewhere, you have to empty it out, you have to wash it out, you have to clean it, you have to refill it, and it just looks so painful, because
Exactly.
you got one piece of material out of it, and then
Mhm.
you to start all over again.
Yep.
And that's great if you're on a film set and you've got 4 or 5 of those containers, and
Right.
it doesn't matter, and you put one
Mhm.
in and you wheel one out and you put another one in. That's great, but from a
Right.
home point of view, can you imagine doing that?
No.
And if you was doing it with your children, I bet
Exactly.
the kids would be so bored, because it would be like there'd be so much work for
Yes.
such a small result.
That's right.
And then the waiting time of cleaning that mess
Mhm.
down, emptying it out, cleaning it,
Mhm.
restarting, and they'd just be like, this I'm bored,
Exactly. I'm
can we go?
bored,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you'd have dye dripping on your floor and a bucket of water upturned. It just be
yeah. It just looked
Mhm.
like such a good idea as a
Yeah.
one-off thing, but as a something that you do on a
Yeah.
production line, it just seemed impossible.
Right. Absolutely. And I'm all for arts and crafts, just like you're all for cooking. It just comes a point where it's not realistic. It's not cost. It doesn't make sense cost wise, and it doesn't make sense time wise. I'm totally on the same page.
There was a part of me when I was watching it, and it almost I don't know, it was, you've got, it's almost like we've stepped back in time, isn't it? Because
Yeah. Yeah.
the way that she lives her life is
Mhm.
very old fashioned, I suppose, in a way. You know, like binding books, making candles, making soap, doing this, doing that, and you look and you go, like women have moved on so much more than that,
Yeah.
and it's like you're trying to like take us back to the like 1950s and 1960s where women didn't have that an option, and
That's
they didn't go to
right.
work, and they didn't have like degrees and
Absolutely.
equal rights and all the rest of it. And she's saying,
Mhm.
no, let's go and make some soap, and we'll dye some material, and we'll make his own scarves, and we'll bind his
That's
own
right.
books.
Exactly. And listen, I've always said that if that's how you choose to spend your life, that's up to you. But I have a real problem with her who has told us this story ad nauseum about women and soap and all that bullshit. And then where does she go? She goes into the kitchen. It's like,
Yeah,
oh my
yeah.
God, you're setting us backwards. Please stop.
Yeah, I kept reflecting back on it, and like every now and again throughout the episodes, I kept thinking, this is very old fight. This is
Yeah.
almost like going back in time, and this is the way that society sees a woman, and this is what a
Yes.
woman should do, and we've moved on from that, and it's like
That's
I
it.
get that you can find joy out of these things, but
Yeah. But we're
that's not,
more than
yeah,
this. I'm more than
I'm sure, yeah,
flowers.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure that you don't really make your own soap. And the thing that made me laugh was it the shower bombs?
Yes,
And
yes.
you look and you go, what a pointless thing that was. So you've got baking powder and water, and then you're
Uh-huh.
going to add some essential oil, and the
Yeah.
idea is that when you get in your shower, you drop it on the shower floor,
Uh-huh.
so this bath bomb thing never actually touches you in any way, shape, or form, and it's just there to make your shower smell nice.
I guess, yeah.
But I don't get it, because it's like when I get in the shower, I get my shower gel, and I put my shower gel on. My shower gel smells nice,
Mhm.
it's minty. So it's like
It's
that's
mint
where,
jelly you're
yeah,
putting
yeah,
on. I got
yeah.
you.
But that's
Mhm.
that's where the nice smell comes from, isn't it? The shower
Yes,
gel that you use, or the shampoo
right.
that you use, or
Uh-huh.
and I just thought, why, who who does that? Who makes something, drops it on the shower floor, and lets it melt for an
I don't
aroma?
know. I really couldn't tell you. Again, my instant thought is that's for a child who hates taking showers. You're like, well, if you go right now, you can have your colors in the bath or the shower, whatever. You know,
Exactly.
it's not an adult. I don't know. I don't know.
I like the minty one. I like the way it tingles.
Again, title of your memoir, right?
Yeah.
Okay, it's mint jelly you're putting all over yourself, right? Or mint sauce, is it that you guys use? Yeah.
Mint sauce. Yeah,
I
we
haven't
go
done
through.
that.
I
Yeah.
go through vats of it.
Oh. Yeah, I got teased by a friend of mine because I've never tried mint sauce before, so I'll have to give that a try.
It's amazing. It's
Is it?
amazing.
That's
Yeah, and
good.
yeah, honestly, it does tingle. It's
Oh,
like,
really? Oh.
yeah, you need to try it, right, because what happens is you get in a really hot shower, and
Uh,
you put it all on, but then there's that moment in winter when you step out the shower and you get hit by cold.
uh-huh.
As soon as the cold hits you,
Uh-huh.
your entire body starts tingling.
Oh. Save that for your OnlyFans, Chef Matt.
Oh, that is on my OnlyFans. That is on my OnlyFans.
All right. You said you didn't have social media, but I
Yeah,
forgot to ask if you have OnlyFans, right? Only
I
chefs.
just
Your wife's a lucky girl. And they asked last time if you were single. Nope, he's happily married. She must stay drunk a lot of the time, I'm guessing.
oh, it's because I'm never here.
She's actually dating a different chef that you don't know about. That's funny. She cooks for him. She won't cook for you. Yeah, do you guys work out some sort of deal if you watch the show? No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see here. Going back to the questions. Let's see. Oh, okay. So a lot of people had opinions on this. This was from the first episode. We're looking at onion tarts. So
I was hoping you was going to do the onion tarts.
yeah, I was hoping you would call me onion tart. Yes. But yeah, so I mean, take it away, but she put these in. Now I have to laugh because no way is this oven hot for so many reasons. There's so many things going on here, but she puts them in these different shapes and then pulls them out and they're in a different shape. But take it away, Chef Matt. What are your thoughts on the onion tarts? You onion
Right.
tart.
So onion tarts. Onion tarts can be absolutely amazing. The disappointing thing about this is that we didn't do anything. There was no process be it to follow it in a respect of the only technical element that we did was we cooked some onions on the stove badly. What would have been absolutely amazing if we'd have made like a really rough pastry, whether that was a short crust pastry or whether it was like a rough puff. Both very simple to make. Both can be made in a food processor very simply with 3 ingredients and a splash of water. So, like realistically, that would have been a great thing for us being able to watch. You know, we could have done that, and it would have been brilliant. Then like to do it this way, I don't really think you could call it a tart, because in my mind, a tart or a tartlet would always have a case. There would always be a structure, and the tart would cook in that structure. The same as in series 1 when we did the quiche.
Right.
It was in a structure. It's normally got a fluted edge around the outside. You'd normally press the pastry into it, you put the filling in, you'd bake it, and you've got a tart or a quiche or whatever you want to call it.
Sure.
I mean, the onions, I had issues with the onions. The pan wasn't hot when we put the onions in, or it wasn't hot enough. Onions, they're very watery. I mean, the water content is absolutely huge. You're talking above 90% water. But then very quickly into the cooking process, we added water, which is diluting the flavor of the onions. And it's taking away from the quality of the onions. But what we'd have done is I mean, a very simple turn is to sweat an onion down or to caramelize an onion. So you put it in a very hot pan. You toss it. You add some salt. Salt's going to draw out the liquid. That's essentially what the salt's there for. You're drawing out as much moisture as you can. In a hot pan, it's going to start to caramelize relatively quickly. You then reduce the heat, and you finish the cooking to soften the onion. We almost told us that we was going to caramelize the onion, but we almost boiled them in water. But then we had to wait for that water to evaporate. It's very pointless. There's no real rhyme or reason to it. If you was going to do something like this, what I would have done is I would have almost, and I think she kind of did to a degree, but the caramelized onion, we almost started to resemble a chutney in it in some respect, because we added balsamic vinegar. And she was right. You are going to get that sweet and sour flavor. I would never have added any sugar to it.
Yeah.
We added sugar. When you caramelize something, what you want to do is you want to draw the natural sugars out of the product. And there's so many things out there that we don't realize it's got a natural sugar content. And onion is one of those things. And if you cook it and you cook it for long and slow, you will see a caramelization, and you will see onions naturally turn sweet. We don't need to add a sweetener to it.
Yeah. I'm going to take your word on all that. I just kept watching it and thinking, I didn't understand the water part either. That was on my list of questions for you, if that did anything to add to it, but it doesn't sound like it did.
It's almost like a fear factor, or it's some sort of protection of you don't want them to burn, you don't want them to catch, but you want to cook them. So you're adding a liquid, and it's a very simple liquid that you're adding. But in the same respect, if you throughout the episodes and throughout the seasons, we've seen them use various stocks and various flavors and various compounds, and you look and you go, you could have put a little bit more thought into that. And if you was going to suggest that the people that are going to follow these recipes, you would have said, let's make a very simple stock. And it's going to be all your scraps from the garden. It's going to be all your peelings. It's going to be all of those things. and we're just going to intensify the flavor by adding that to this, which is it's gonna bring out more flavor. You're going to get hits of thyme, you're going to get hits of rosemary, you're going to get bits of garlic, you're going to taste the vegetables, and it's going to be like a marriage of flavors.
That sounds
Adding
delicious. Yeah,
adding
yeah.
adding water doesn't do anything,
Uh-huh.
but it's like in later episodes we're pulling out chicken stock out of the fridge, and you're looking, you go, well, that would have been a splash of chicken stock in that, you know.
Uh-huh.
If you're feeding somebody that eats meat, or that would have been great. If you're not, and you're feeding vegans or vegetarians, a
Mhm.
little bit of vegetable stock,
Yeah.
or even to flavor your water with something, would have been
Mhm.
better than what we've got. The
Yeah.
actual end result of what we pulled out of the oven,
Uh-huh.
you know, it resembled, I don't know if you guys all know what I'm, but it resembled more of a pasty. You know, the
Uh-huh.
bring it. So when you make a pasty, you've got a flat piece of pastry. You'd put the filling down the center. You'd pick the sides up and you'd crimp the sides around, and then you'd bake.
Mhm.
So from my point of view, we called it a tartlet because it we're in this day and age now where we like to make things sound nicer than what they are by using nice phrases or nice words,
Sure.
as opposed to telling the truth and being honest. And a tartlet sounds better than a pasty. You know, there's so many. It's like what we was talking about earlier, isn't it? With a minestrone of vegetables, such a beautiful way of calling mixed vegetables. You know, and we're at that point now where we're all trying to make food or things sound better than what they are,
You're right.
and we're almost lying to our senses.
Mhm. I think you're exactly right. I think that's funny with tying that back into Meghan because that's what she keeps getting in trouble for is using the wrong words. Like she said she was releasing jam and then they weren't even allowed to call it jam. It
Yeah,
ended
but
up
it's
having to
like
be spread. Go ahead.
there was the macaroons, wasn't there? You know, macaroons.
Uh-huh.
They're a French delicacy, and
Yes.
there's such a huge amount of skill. Macaroons are they they're so difficult to make, and you have got to be so technically accurate, and you have to put your scientist head in, and everything, every single element to that process needs to be so, to even to the point of when we used to make macaroons, we'd scald the bowls, we'd
Mhm.
scald the mixing bowls, and by scalding the mixing bowls, what you're doing is you're removing any impurity from the bowl. So any contaminant, or if you've had a bowl sat on your shelf or in a cupboard, when that bowl comes out, we used to boil the kettles, and we'd fill the bowls with water, and we'd
Mhm.
scald them, then we'd tip the water out, and then we'd dry them with a very clean cloth, and we knew that we was ready to make macaroons. Because if you didn't follow those processes, there might be a little bit of grease in the bowl, there might be a little bit of contaminant, and your macaroons would be spoilt by something so simple.
Yeah, yeah, I gotcha. Huh.
But we made a vegan macaroon, and I'm sure there was absolutely delicious, but they're not macaroons.
They're
They're
not
like
macaroons. Yeah.
no, they're not macaroons, and they looked amazing. And please understand, I did want to eat them when I saw them. I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, I could eat at least 6 of those, and they looked amazing. But let's just call food for what it is.
Yes, I thought I had them here. That's what I was looking through. I actually oh, here they are. I thought they looked pretty good, but that was on my list of questions, so you wouldn't actually call these macaroons because that's not what they are.
No, then I can't remember. You've took me off a little bit off guard, but there's some sort of like
Uh,
little there's like little coconut things that you can make, isn't there? And
yeah,
there's like little coconut droplets.
uh-huh,
They're more like that than they are a macaroon.
the macaroon. Yeah, I agree, and then she had to add those damn dried flowers on top of it.
Yeah,
Like,
but I
nobody
mean,
wants
the
that.
the sheen on a macaroon. I don't know if you can find like a really good picture of a macaroon,
I can
and
while you're
put it
talking.
up.
Yeah, I'll
But
look real quick.
the the, the like a macaroon, when you make a macaroon, it's so technical, but every single macaroon has to be exactly the same size. And what we used to do back in the day was we'd get greaseproof paper, and we'd get a ring, and we'd get a pencil, and we'd
Uh,
draw rings around the greaseproof paper with a pencil, and then we turned the paper upside down so the pencil marks were on the bottom, but you could still see the ring on the other side. And then when we piped the macaroons on, each one had to fill that perfect ring. And then when they came out of the oven, they'd have a gloss and a sheen over them, and they'd look so beautiful, and there'd just be an ever so slight a little crack around the middle, just where it expanded in the oven. It gets me excited about food. It's like when you talk about food like this, it makes you hungry. It makes you want to be able to pick a macaroon up and eat it.
I find myself leaning forward talking about it. Like, oh, I want that. Yes. I've got a picture I'm popping up on screen right now. Let's see. Should be. Here it is. Okay. It's coming. It takes just a second, but they're a little bit different, but they're still more uniform than what she's got.
But they're beautiful, aren't they?
Yes.
They're just so elegant.
They really are. I want to eat that. Yes. That looks delicious. Delicious. But yeah, she had to sprinkle them with those damn dried flowers. And this was not on her show. And you probably haven't seen this, but she posted this on her Instagram and I about keeled over. So I'm sure you'll have a reaction. So guys, listen to Chef Matt's reaction in real time. Ready, Chef Matt? Here you go. She posted this.
Yeah, what is that? What is that?
It's shortbread, I guess. With
again, you go back to this children element of what we're doing, and it's very childlike, isn't it? It's very, I don't know if it's me being a perfectionist or if it's because of the career that I'm in, but it's like uniform and unity in what you do, and trying to make things look identical is very important, even from the home baker. If you was going to make a biscuit and you was going to present them to your friends and you were going to put them in a little box and you were just going to tie a ribbon around them, you'd want them to look professional, and you'd strive for perfection.
Yeah,
and this is just a little bit like, the kids made it.
That's what I was thinking. Like the son baked and then the daughter went out and gathered flowers and put it around. Here you go, Mom and Dad. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't say that looks extremely. I have a sweet tooth, but I don't want to eat that stuff. It looks like I just think, oh, crap in my teeth. I don't want that.
Yeah.
So that was the end of the second part of my sit down with Chef Matt. But don't worry, we got lots more to go. We talked for a long time and covered a lot of the nonsense going on. So a huge thank you to Chef for being here and for your time and for your thoughtful answers. A huge thank you to all of you for watching this, and I sincerely hope you enjoyed it. Thank you guys so much. I cannot wait to bring you the next part of the sit down with Chef Matt. Have the best day, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye. How fun is that? He's the nicest guy, isn't he? I love when I get to sit down and talk to him. We really have a lot of fun together. Best personality, such a nice guy, and so knowledgeable with this stuff. I just really enjoy his take on things. I'm never looking to be mean just for the sake of being mean, and he isn't either, so he doesn't go after the chefs, but he does tell interesting tips on how to fix things or make things better, all that stuff. So I love these sit downs, and I hope you do as well. Guys, that's going to do it for me. I really appreciate it. Thanks for sticking with us. If you stuck with me this long, let me know in the comments. And if you want to pass any words of love to Chef Matt, I'll make sure that he gets them. And he needs to start a channel, right? Sheesh. Come on, Chef Matt. Get with it. All right. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I can't wait to bring you more stuff like this. Take care. Bye-bye.